بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فقد قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم والله غفور رحيم صدق الله العلي العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الأمي الكريم ونحن على ذلك لمن الشاهدين والشاكرين الحمد لله رب العالمين إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala has given us the tawfiq to speak about the blessed life of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the significance of adhering to the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi, when commenting regarding the sunnah, has mentioned as-sunnatu mithlu safinati Nuhin alayhi salatu wasalam. Sunnat of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is like traveling in the ship of Hadrat Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam. Man rakibaha naja wa man takhallafa anha gharaq. The one who sets himself to sail in the ship of the sunnah, naja, he is granted salvation. And the one who stayed away from the ship of sunnah, like the people who stayed away from the ship of Nuh alayhi salam, then gharq, they have been destroyed, they will drown in the confusion of the world, in the sins and the ghaflat of the world, and derailed away from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So this is what Hazrat Imam Malik had said, rahmatullahi alayhi, Imam Darul Hijrah, a person who was very staunch in following the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. That's why it is mentioned that in Shiratul Islam, it is mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that जो भी सुन्नतों की इत्तिबा करेगा, whoever follows the sunnah, तो उसको चार फायदे मिलेंगे. Number one, the pious people will love him. जो नेक लोग होंगे, खुद ब खुद उनके दिल के अंदर एक कल्बी ताल्लुक, कल्बी मोहब्बत पैदा होगी. They will love you naturally because this is the sign of following sunnah. Number two is that sinful people will be in awe of him. जो गुनहगार लोग हैं वो आपसे डरेंगे. They will stay away from you. आजकल जो पूरी दुनिया मुसलमानों के खिलाफ जो साजिश कर रही है और बड़ी दिलेरी के साथ जो साजिश करती है और जो है खुलेआम जो साजिश कर रही है, एक वजह ये उलमा ने लिखा है चूँकि हमारी ज़िंदगियों से सुन्नत का जनाजा निकल चुका है, लिहाजा अब वो यानी एक किस्म के दलेर बन चुके हैं. They have become bold and courageous to attack us. But if we were following the sunnah, they would not have the courage to even lift the eye towards us. ये सुन्नत की एक तासीर हो. जैसे कि वो मशहूर ग़ज़वे के अंदर एक सहाबी जब देखा कि जो काफिरों ने हम पर कुछ हमला किया, हमारे कुछ कमज़ोरी सी पैदा होगी, we feel a bit weak, तो क्या हुआ, तो गौर फ़िक्र की, मशवरा किया. They said, we have realized we have not been doing the sunnah of miswak enough. तो अमीर लश्कर जो सिपहसालार थे उस वक्त, he said everyone do miswak. तो miswak करने लग गए और through the barakat of miswak, the non-Muslims saw them कि ये लोग क्या कर रहे, और they sharpening the teeth, they're going to eat us. अच्छा ये सब हथियार फेंक दो, भागो यहाँ से, ये तो पता नहीं कैसे कौम है, they're going to eat us. और वहाँ से निकल गए. तो सुन्नत, by following sunnah, you will always have izzat in the eyes of the people of this world and in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the sinful people will be scared of you. They won't be able to do anything to you. The boldness and the courage they have today is because we have left the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So this is the second benefit of following sunnah. Number one is the pious people will be fond of him. You'll have a hissa in their dua. Number two, sinful people will be in awe of him. Number three, Allah Ta'ala will grant you plentiful of rizq. Sustenance will be plentiful. Rizq में खूब इजाफा होगा. whoever follows the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And fourthly, he will be steadfast on his deen. Deen par istiqamat usko naseeb hogi. So this is what Imam Malik has said rahmatullahi alayhi at the starting, and then the commentary of Sharatul Islam. Hazrat Pir Abdul Qadir Jilani has mentioned rahmatullahi alayhi regarding the sunnah, Asasul khair mutaba'atun nabiyyi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam fi qawlihi wa fi'li. The basis of all good, tamam khair ka jo majmua hai, jo bunyad hai, it is in following the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. तो इमाम औज़ाई ने लिखा है रहमतुल्लाह अलैह कि एक मर्तबा उन्होंने अल्लाह को अपने ख्वाब में देखा. अल्लाह ताला granted him this इज्जत. इमाम औज़ाई रहमतुल्लाह अलैह बहुत बड़े मुहद्दिस गुजरे हैं. And he saw Allah in his dream. तो अल्लाह से पूछते हैं, ए अल्लाह, मैं आपसे एक दरख्वास्त करता हूँ कि मरते वक्त मुझे ईमान के साथ दुनिया से ले जाना. He asked Allah in the dream, oh Allah, I request you, please grant me death with husn khatima in the state of iman. क्योंकि पूरी जिंदगी की मेहनत यही है. This is the khulas of life, कि I die upon iman, otherwise my life is baseless. So Allah Ta'ala said to him that you make dua to me to die upon a death with iman, and by doing this you have to follow the sunnah of my Habib sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Follow my Hudur sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How he ate, ऐसे खाना खाओ. How he slept, ऐसे रात को सो. How his guftar was, how he spoke, how he walked. Follow him, imitate him. दुनिया जो कुछ के है उनको छोड़ दो. Follow his way, and you will find, inshallah, you will be blessed with the kalima upon your tongue, and I will be pleased with you, and I will grant you iman की हिफाजत at the time of death. So देखो सुन्नतों के अंदर ईमान की हिफाजत है. अल्लाह हम सबको यह तौफीक और नसीब फरमाए. And then on top of that, Hazrat Shah Abdul Aziz rahmatullahi alayhi has mentioned in Fathul Aziz in his tafsir, Man tahawana bis sunnah uqiba bihirman al faraiz. That person who neglects the sunnah, some say sunnah hi to hai, it's not important, doesn't matter. By neglecting the sunnah, that person will eventually be deprived of practicing upon the farz of Islam as well. The basic essential obligations of Islam, he won't get the tawfiq to do that. And आगे भी आता है दूसरी किताबों में, وَمَنْ تَهَاوَنَ بِالْفَرَائِضِ عُوقِبَ بِحِرْمَانِ مَعْرِفَةِ اللَّهِ. And the person who stays away from the farz, he will never acquire the recognition of Allah. But you have to have sunnah. By safeguarding sunnah, you'll safeguard your farz. By safeguarding farz, you'll acquire the ta'alluq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the importance of sunnah inside our lives. देखो सुन्नत के अगर दुनियावी फायदे भी हो तो that's fine, but we don't look at benefits. We don't look for बरकत नसीब हो, मुझे कुछ मिल जाए, कुछ माल में इजाफा हो. ये हम ये देखते हैं कि इसके ज़रिए से मुझे अल्लाह ताला की खुशी हासिल हो जाए. In everything, the Muslim looks at pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it is through this pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that a person will acquire this ta'alluq of Allah. देखो, and sunnah is a complete code of life. सुबह शाम मुसाफिर हो, मुकीम हो, इनफरादी ज़िंदगी, इज्तिमाई ज़िंदगी, घरेलू ज़िंदगी, कामकाज वाली ज़िंदगी, whatever situation, whether you're a man, woman, young boy, elder, interacting with anyone, there's a model for us to follow. This is sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So one example I will talk about in the short time that we have today is regarding the eating habits, how we can bring sunnah inside our life. And especially from them is only one sunnah: washing our hands before eating. The amount of qurb of Allah we can acquire through following sunnah, through eating, is mashallah, is amazing, and especially by washing our hands. So there's a hadith of Majma' Zuwaid. Hazrat Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas has mentioned that the Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, washing the hands before and after meals, it takes away poverty, and it is a sunnah of all of the Anbiya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So देखो ये हमें ये गलती होती है इधर. So we say कि बेटा wash your hands. No, Abu, I'm using a spoon, my fork, knife. But even If you are using spoon, even if you are using fork and knife, still wash your hand. This is the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Before, and वो भी बाज़ लोग जो है ना वो जब टाप चालू करते हैं तो यूं उंगलियों को जो पोड़े हैं बस उन्हीं को धो देते हैं. नहीं, wash all the way till the wrist. Wash thoroughly, properly every area until the wrist. Hazrat Anas radhiyallahu anhu has mentioned, Nabi Pak said sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the person who desires that his home is filled with goodness, जो चाहते हैं मेरे पूरे घर के अंदर खैर हो. अब बाज़ घरों के अंदर बीमारियां हैं, बाज़ घरों के अंदर जिन्नात का असर है, बाज़ घरों के अंदर मुसीबतें हैं, बाज़ घरों के अंदर लड़ाई झगड़े रहते हैं, बाज़ घरों के अंदर एक किस्म की नहूसत है, जुल्मात है. तो फरमाया, whoever desires that his home be full of goodness. अब देखो ये यकीन का सबक है और सही इब्न माजा शरीफ की मुस्तनद हदीस है. Whoever wants his house to be full of goodness should wash his hands before and after eating food. Subhanallah. अब इंसान सोचे कि इसका ताल्लुक इससे क्या है, तो ये है जब ईमान बिल गैब का सबक आता है कि it doesn't matter if you understand, अगर हुजूर ने फरमा दिया बस मान लो, समिअना व अताअना, और यही ईमान है. So the Prophet ﷺ said, you got problems in your house, wash your hands before and after eating. You wash your hands, wife wash their hand, children wash their hand before eating, after eating. And if you have yaqeen in the farman of Nabi Pak ﷺ, the wa'ada and the promise upon this is Allah will take all problems away. Inshallah, you will acquire that goodness. This is the lesson that we learn. Therefore, this is just washing your hands. This is one sunnah. And जैसे मैंने पहले भी अर्ज़ किया, we don't do it for benefits. We do it for the pleasure of Allah. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ. If you want Allah's love and pleasure, فَاتَّبِعُونِي, follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you want Allah Ta'ala to love us. Hazrat Salman Farsi has mentioned, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, that he says, I read in Tawrat Sharif, Salman Farsi का कॉल है कि मैंने Tawrat Sharif में पढ़ा. क्या पढ़ा? कि washing the hands after meals was a source of prosperity and barakah. He read in Tawrat Sharif. He related this to Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam. तो जब हुजूर की खिदमत में हाजिर हुए तो कहा, या रसूलुल्लाह, मैंने ये जो आप फरमाते रहते हो कि अल बरकतु ताआम अल वज़ू क़ब्ला वल वज़ू बाद, जिस तरह हदीस में आता है कि बरकत of food is by washing your hands before and after eating. I read this in Tawrat Sharif. Barakat is by washing your hands after meals. So Rasulullah said to him, in Tawrat it says washing your hands after meal, but my teaching is washing the hands before as well. And after meals is a source of barakah. फरमाया al barakatu ta'am al wadhu'u qablahu wal wadhu'u ba'dahu. खाने में बरकतें आती है हाथ धोने खाने से पहले और हाथ धोना खाने के बाद. Hazrat Sayyidina Imam Ghazali has mentions in Ihya Ulumuddin. देखो अब देखो ये फिर भी फायदा है, सुन्नतों के अंदर कितना फायदा है, और ये सिर्फ हाथ धोने पर जो फायदा हमें मिलता है. He said कि washing the hands, in Ihya Ulumuddin is mentioned, washing the hands before eating takes away poverty, and washing the hand after eating takes away insanity and all illnesses related to the head. अगर कोई डिमेंशिया का शिकार है, wash your hands before and after eating. हदीस से साबित है, go better. Insanity, पागलपना, mental handicap or mental instability, will learn to wash your hands. This is found in Ihya Ulumuddin of Imam Ghazali rahmatullahi alayhi. Hazrat Sayyidina Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu ta'ala anhu has mentioned, Nabi Pak said sallallahu alayhi wasallam, washing the hands before and after eating causes one's sustenance to be abundant. यानी बरकत होगी खाने, यानी जो आपकी चीज हाथ में आएगी. And it opposes shaitan. It takes, it is against the method of shaitan. Because shaitan doesn't wash his hands before eating. Shaitan uses his left hand. Shaitan stands up and eats. So it's opposing the way of shaitan. So ulama ने ये लिखा है कि washing the hands before eating, after eating is sunnat of Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So even if your hands are clean, आप कोई बच्चा के ये कह सकते हैं कि अबू मेरे हाथ तो बिल्कुल साफ है, नहीं. Or I just washed my hands, I went to the bathroom, I just washed my face, I just used the toilet, I did istinja, I washed my hands with soap after I finished using the toilet. नहीं. That was then mustaqil खाने के लिए, just for eating, wash your hands again for the sake of eating. That is how you will acquire all of these blessings and the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if your hands are clean, still wash your hands. If you're using a fork and knife, still wash your hands. And otherwise we are robbing ourselves of all of the fawaid of the sunnah and the barakat of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam that he has told us. So Allah Ta'ala ने मुझे और आपको हाथ दिए, और हाथ का एक function ये भी खाना खाने के लिए. One of the functions of the hand is to eat. So Allah Ta'ala has blessed us with the hand to make a morsel and to eat. So why should I rob myself of the benefits by not washing my hand in the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam? So this is how barakah will come in our life. Insanity will go, oppose shaitan, goodness in the house, goodness in my life. I'll finish off in a short while. Barakat ka matlab kya hai? What is the meaning of barakah? So ulama have said, barakah means that the noble purpose for which we are eating food, just अच्छी नीयत से हम खाना खा रहे हैं, that noble intention will be fulfilled. मसलन अगर मैं कहूँ कि मैं इसलिए खाना खा रहा हूँ ताकि खाना खाने के बाद मुझे ताकत मिलेगी, तक़वियत हासिल होगी, और उस ताकत के नतीजे में मैं कुरान शरीफ पढ़ सकूँगा. Allah will give you tawfiq to play Quran. If you say मैं खाना इसलिए खा रहा हूँ ताकि मुझे ताकत मिले, और ताकत मिलने के बाद मुझे हिम्मत होगी, मैं नफिल ज़्यादा पढ़ सकूँगा, Allah will give you tawfiq to play nafil. ये है बरकत. When a person follows the way of Rasulullah and he acquires that barakat, this is what Allah Ta'ala will grant him. The food will become a beneficial part of your body, and it will aid you in doing good deeds and also displaying good character. Achhe akhlaq bhi nasib honge when you acquire the barakat of food. Now barakat this is one way of washing your hands. Halaki barakat comes in many ways. Rizq, when barakah comes inside a person's rizq, that's the Quran Sharif ek ayat hai. Mainly is taqwa and namaz. Taqwa and namaz is what attracts provision and barakah. That's the Quran Sharif mein aate. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. So a person who fears the disobedience of Allah Ta'ala, Allah will grant him this barakah in his life of sustenance. And एक और आयत में आता है, I read today, Allah Ta'ala told Rasulullah in the Quran Sharif sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَأْمُرْ أَهْلَكَ بِالصَّلَاةِ وَاسْتَبِرْ عَلَيْهَا لَا نَسْأَلُكَ رِزْقًا نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُكَ وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلتَّقْوَى. So you also pray salah, tell your family to pray salah in the Quran Sharif. We don't ask you for rizq, we will give you rizq. So another way of acquiring the rizq and wholesome sustenance and barakat is by praying our salah properly on time, in the correct manner, and not making it qada. Through this Allah Ta'ala will also grant us barakah. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us the tawfiq. तो आज एक ही सुन्नत का जिक्र हुआ है, और वो ये है कि खाने से पहले हाथ धोना और खाने के बाद हाथ धोना. If a person makes his routine, this one sunnah, and then mashallah there's so many barakat, and then you read bismillah, and then how you sit down and eat, how you eat, how much meal you pour, what time you eat. So inshallah for the next few weeks we'll try to talk more on this, because eating is an integral part of our life. Just as sona is an important part of our life, sleeping, eating. So if we can manage to do these a'mal in the sunnat method properly, then that sleeping and that eating waqi will become a form of barakah and ibadat for us, inshallah, in the true sense. However, we usually say it, yes, if I do this, but understanding it so we can acquire more benefits. Allah Ta'ala give me the tawfiq. Allah Ta'ala give all of us tawfiq. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyil ummi wa ma alayna illa